when this body chooses to overreach or something like that and expel members, it is incumbent upon the local counties to where the individual lives to determine who the successor will be for that vacancy. Not the Tennessee General Assembly. The founders of Tennessee could have wrote that, but they didn't. It's the people who are proximate to the folks who are losing their voice, who are losing their representation, who are losing their advocate, who are losing the person that they sent there through the duly elected process of a constitutional democratic republic. It's up to them to decide who to send back here, not us. Let me just first say that, truthfully, I am so tired of the retaliatory racist reaction of bills targeting Representative Jones, myself, and Representative Johnson.
You're out of order. You're out of order. You stay on the topic of the bill. That is not on the bill. Please stay on the topic of the bill, and it's your amendment. So we're on the amendment. If you'd like to discuss the amendment, we can. Okay, Representative Pearson, you're recognized.
Forgive me.
You're recognized on the amendment.
Thank you, Speaker. But am I talking about the bill related to expulsion? Is that this bill?
You're talking about your amendment. Please talk about your amendment.
Yes, sir. Just want to make sure that we're talking about the amendment to the bill related to expulsions.
Please talk about your amendment last time. Representative Pearson.
As I understand it, Speaker, my amendment is related to the expulsion of members. And my bill says this to everyone here and listening. Tennessee Code and Section 1, Tennessee Code, Section 2-14-203 is amended by deleting the section and substituting instead the following. The legislative body of the replaced legislator's county of residence at the time of such a legislator's election may elect an interim successor to serve until the election. This bill, as it is currently written, seeks to take away and strip away a constitutional power given to our counties in order for them to fill vacancies. This is overreach of government, and this is not what we should be doing. The Constitution in this manner has not been changed since it was written. And now we have a bill before us that even our own legal team said is unconstitutional because someone in the well and folks here do not care about the voices of the communities where we come from. The Secretary of State says this. There are some things you have to do and have to be here. 1, you got to be 21 years old. 2, you have to be a citizen for about 3 years. 3, you've got to live in the county for 1 year and be a qualified voter of that legislative district. That is what is written in our Constitution. That is the requirement to serve in this body. This is what government overreach looks like. So it's real interesting when my colleagues on the other side talk about we need less government. Talk about we need less government overreach in our lives. When this exact bill, this very legislation overreaches the Constitution of Tennessee. My amendment is to return to the originalist meaning of our Constitution in Tennessee. It is to return to the status quo, which is, as it is currently written, in my opinion, fair and just. This body, according to our Constitution, has the right to expel members. It's the worst thing you can possibly do to a member of this body. But this body does not have the right to overreach the Constitution of the state of Tennessee that has been unchanged on this point since its founding, because there are individuals who want to continue oppression and the silencing of voices and dissent. And so for these reasons, I ask all of my colleagues that we return to the originalist meaning of the Constitution. Stop this action that seeks to usurp it. And with that, I ask that you approve my motion. As it currently stands, according to the Constitution, is a person who is going to serve has to be a qualified voter that lives in the district that they are seeking to then represent. This is what this amendment does, because I believe it is so important that we have clarity about what should qualify for a person to not be able to serve in this body as a member of this body. And it reads this way, Section 1, Tennessee Code, annotated Section 2-14-203 is amended by designating the existing language as subsection A and adding this subsection, and it uses some of the language of the sponsor. Upon local approval, if a local legislative body proceeds to elect a successor to fill a vacant seat of a member of either house of the General Assembly, and the vacancy was created due to the expulsion of a member for what? Criminal offenses, including domestic violence, spousal abuse, assault, bribery, sexual misconduct, or other criminal offenses, then the local legislative body shall not elect the expelled legislator to be the successor to fill the vacant seat. Right now, the way that it reads is just disorderly conduct, which is really an interpretation that's left to the people in this body. So, for instance, our going to the well of the House floor and advocating that we do something to end the gun violence epidemic after 6 people were killed at the Covenant School, 3 of them children, and after hundreds of people have been killed in our city due to gun violence, going to the well of the House floor was viewed as disorderly conduct. But what I am recommending to this body, what I think is really important for each and every one of you to realize is we didn't do something criminal, but the amendment that I am offering is that if a person does commit a criminal offense, including domestic violence, spousal abuse, assault, bribery, sexual misconduct, as some members, some who aren't even here anymore, who are from the other side of the aisle, or other criminal offenses, then that person would not be allowed to be able to serve here. But because we protested, because we lifted the voices of our community, because we said we have to listen to the 7,000 people who marched here, Representative Jones and I were expelled, Representative Johnson nearly so, but we didn't commit any criminal offense. Whereas the folks most recently expelled from the Tennessee House of Representatives, they did commit criminal offenses. They did commit bribery. They did commit sexual misconduct. They did criminal acts. Those are the types of folks who should not serve in this body. But people who advocate to lift up the voices of their community and meet the constitutional requirements, sponsor, not the requirements of people who want to turn this into some sort of country club, but meet the constitutional requirements to serve, deserve the opportunity to serve. And taking away the voice of counties and those who are in elected positions in counties to fill vacancies is not only government overreach, it is the silencing of communities and the silencing of the voices of people who already struggle to be heard in institutions like this one. And so I ask all of my colleagues to go and read, as the parliamentarian did, the Tennessee State Constitution. It's very clear on what the qualifications are to serve. It is very clear on what the process is for someone who is expelled. This legislation seeks to subvert the Tennessee State Constitution. That's what it's doing. We should not pass an unconstitutional law knowingly, because the reason it is being passed, it isn't about justice. It is about separation. It is about division. It is about using the tools of power to silence and abuse those in marginalized communities like ours. With that, I move adoption.
That's proper motion, probably seconded. He moves adoption. Representative Marsh, Deputy Speaker Marsh, Speaker Pro Tem Marsh, one of the 3. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move previous question.
Speaker Pro Tem Marsh moves previous question. Is there objection? There's objection, moving previous question on the amendment. All right. We're voting on previous question on the amendment. All those in favor of previous question, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? McCalman, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 73, 22 nays.